Hi! It's been a while since I made a video, and there are a couple of reasons for that, but the main one is that I realized that I wasn't passionate about creating fashion and beauty content, and I was letting it become something that was stressing me out. Even though I went into this project, or this channel, or whatever you want to call it, saying, oh, this is going to be something that I am doing as a hobby, something that's just as fun for me to do, I was letting it become something that I felt obligated to produce content for, and that I felt stressed when I wasn't producing content for. And that's a problem. So I've spent the last 10 months really focusing on what I am passionate about and what I want to be creating and doing, whether that's professionally or as hobbies, like making videos was supposed to be. And what I have discovered, or rediscovered, I should say, is that I just care about stories. So whether that's books, TV shows, movies, theater, I care about stories, and I care about responding to them and engaging with them, and I care about creating them. So over the past 10 months, I've done a lot of writing. I have posted 3 short stories on my website, 2 that were brand new and 1 that I just sort of cleaned up. I've released a new book. I've been working on, trying to figure out how to promote that and how to build a brand around stuff like that professionally. And as much as I have not learned a whole lot, I have definitely started to feel more passionate and excited about creating stuff. And that led me to this. I loved making videos, and I think I still would, because I do enjoy the process of sitting down and talking about something that I'm passionate about and going through the editing it together, making it look good. That is something that I thoroughly enjoy doing and something that I find really fun. But if I'm going to be doing it for fun, I'm going to be doing it about stuff that I am passionate about. And that is no longer fashion and beauty. As much as I do still like it, and I like creating outfits and I like doing that sort of thing, it's not stuff that I want to be creating content for. What I would rather create content for is just my own thoughts and feelings about media and the entertainment industry. Which leads me to what I want to do with this channel. So there's a couple of things. First of all, I want to be approaching the content that I'm creating on this channel as more of like a visual podcast than like standard YouTube videos. There's not going to be crazy editing. There's not going to be lots of cuts. I want it to be not entirely unedited, but I want it to feel like I'm just sort of having a chat, talking about stuff. Although there might sometimes be things that come up on screen, or there will be some, jump cuts and things where I mess up and have to repeat myself. I do want it to be much more informal, much more casual. So if you are someone who subscribed to me because you enjoyed my fashion content that I was doing about a year ago, fair play if you decide to leave, because now I've decided I want to talk about books. But if you are someone who is new or just joining us, or someone who was here for me, not specifically the fashion stuff, then I hope that you stick around. I hope you enjoy it. But like I say, I'm not going to be guaranteeing that this will be regular content. I'm not going to be stressing myself out trying to create stuff. It's more just going to be when I want to, when I've got time, when there's something I want to discuss, I'll hop on here, I'll make a video about it. Because this will be like a hobby. I just spilled hot chocolate. I don't have a rag, and I'm kind of trapped. Okay, we're just going to ignore that. You can see it, you're going to ignore it. You're going to pretend it's not there. The next thing that I will say about the way I'm approaching this channel and the content that's going to be on here is I'm probably going to end up privating or unlisting a lot of the previous videos on here, because just for cohesion's sake, I still am proud of them. I'll probably leave some of them up, because the ones that I particularly am fond of, I will leave. But a lot of them I will be sort of taking down or privating for the time being, just because I like things to be cohesive. I like them to be in order and neat and nice. So if you're new here, you probably clicked on this video because of the title and are a bit tired of me rambling on about a channel that you didn't know existed before. So I'm just going to now stop waffling on and talk about what I wanted to talk about, which was the way the internet has stolen my attention span. So I've been watching a lot of video essays recently, and one of the ones that I watched was by CJ the X. I can't remember which one it was. It might have been the Bo Burnham versus Jeffrey Bezos one, but don't quote me on that. But he made a point about how your attention is a form of currency, especially in online spaces. And it got me thinking about how the internet has stolen my attention span. And I don't mean that hyperbolically. I mean that pretty literally. And my point that I'm trying to make with that is that whether it's the internet trying to get you to look at one thing for a long time, or it's the internet just trying to always constantly have something for you to look at. In both directions, it is consuming your attention, and what you pay attention to is what will continue to be produced, it's what the algorithms will continue to show you, and it's what you will constantly be surrounded by. I think TikTok is a prime example of this, and this isn't even anti-TikTok. I like TikTok. I use it a lot. I make videos on it. I think it's fun. But I also think that the endless scroll nature of it makes it very, very easy for it to steal your attention. Have you ever seen that TikTok of the girl, and she's got her phone in her hand like this, and she's walking around, she's like this, she's got her phone in her hand, and she's walking around, and she's staring at it, and she's like doing her daily things, she's like eating, and then she's like brushing her teeth, and then she looks in the mirror, and she's got those huge dark circles, and it goes, maybe you should take a break from scrolling. Have you ever seen that? So I learned recently that TikTok shows you that video when you have been scrolling in the app without breaks, without pausing, without leaving the app for 2 straight hours. That's when you see that video, and that's why it just shows up all the time and randomly. You're like, why is this on my For You page again? It's because you've been scrolling for 2 hours. That's why. And I think that is very indicative of the way that the app is used. If you look in the comments on that video when it shows up, it's people being like, man, this video was posted so long ago, why is it always showing up? Why am I showing this again and again? And then other people answering being like, it's because of how long you've been scrolling. I just think it is a fascinating case study in the internet, the way that that app works. Not the content on the app itself, although that's a whole other can of worms, the actual way that the app functions. So on TikTok, you know that any video you're going to see is going to be a maximum of 3 minutes, which means that every video you see, you know, I only have to dedicate 3 minutes of my time to this, right? You would think that with that in mind, you would just sort of watch the video because it's only 3 minutes. Usually less than that. And yet, what happens is because it's so easy to scroll away and see something new and see something new and see something new, you discover pretty quickly that within about 3 seconds, you know whether or not you're going to keep watching that video. It does not take long to make that decision. It is a very easy decision to make. And I think that, combined with the fact that it's repetitive trends, repetitive sounds, repetitive sights, let's be real, every freaking person in TikTok has those LED strip lights and has the, like, if you're on Book Talk, which is where I tend to hang out, they've always got the nice shelves behind them. Like, it's all very similar and all very samey. And yet, even within those contexts and within that content that is all very, very similar, it still does not take you very long to realize, hey, I'm gonna skip this one. So I just think it is fascinating because although the individual content has to grip you so quickly or you're going to move on from it, the app itself still keeps you engaged for hours at a time. And I think that's because the content that you're looking at can change so frequently and so easily and so quickly. If you're on Twitter, you're only really seeing the people that you follow or the tweets that have been highlighted. And if you get bored of that, you're going to close the app. But with TikTok, it is infinite. It is infinite. They are never going to run out of content. There are millions of users on that app who are producing content between 15 seconds and 3 minutes every day. And that means that TikTok is never going to run out of videos to show you. And you're more likely to stay engaged on the app and stay scrolling until you see that girl with her stupid phone. And chances are, even then, you're not going to close the app because, like me, you didn't realize that it was trying to tell you, hey, get off the app, you've been on here for 2 hours. They're keeping you engaged for such a long time, and they're putting up that little video as like a, hee, maybe you should take a break from scrolling. But they know that that's not going to be enough because they know that after you've seen that video a couple of times, the minute it pops up, you're just going to be like, nope. So they can say, you know, oh, well, we're not encouraging people to stay on the app for hours. Then create a different video. Make it not just the same girl every time that people are just going to instinctually skip. They want you to stay on the app. They want you to stay engaging with that content. And they've done it in a way that's really clever, where you don't necessarily realize that's what's happening because you're still looking at something different every couple of seconds. And it's so easy to get sucked into this like rabbit hole of content that just doesn't end because it's just so easy to keep scrolling. So yeah, TikTok keeps you engaged. It keeps you on the app and it keeps your attention focused on a singular thing for hours on end. But it's also killing my attention span because I'm not looking at a singular video or a singular block of text or a singular type of content for for a couple of hours at a time. I'm looking at 1,500 different types of content very, very quickly for a couple of hours at a time. Thankfully, I've been okay. I've not gotten to the point where the stuff that I'm actively trying to do has been affected, but the stuff that I am consuming has been. And I love YouTube, and I love movies and TV shows, and I enjoy engaging with media. Like I said in my intro, that is something that I am passionate about because I like stories and I like to respond to stories and discuss them and analyze them. That's something I really, really enjoy. So the fact that I am starting to lose the attention span to do that, especially with visual medias, books thankfully kind of being an exception, is sad to me. And I found a solution, sort of. And that solution has been video essays. Now, video essays are doing the same thing that TikTok is, in that they're wanting to keep you watching and engaged for hours at a time. And I don't know if this is like a new thing or what, but I remember sort of pre-TikTok, I would also watch video essays. I enjoyed them because, again, I enjoy analyzing media and engaging with content in that manner. So video essays were always appealing to me, but I had never seen a video essay that was longer than like an hour, with the exception of H. Bomber Guy. He was the exception, not the rule at that time, at least in the circles that I was aware of and the video essays that I was aware of. So when I sort of opened up YouTube a couple of weeks ago and was recommended a bunch of video essays, I was kind of like, oh, let's check some of these out. And a lot of them were upwards of 2 hours. And I was like, whoa. Do I have the dedication to sit and watch that for 2 hours? Because again, like I've been saying, being on TikTok so much has kind of killed that for me. So I was like, do I even have the dedication to do this? And I would sit down and I'd put one on, and I wouldn't necessarily watch the whole thing in one sitting. I still don't do that all the time. A lot of them are very long. But I would sit down and I'd be like, okay, let me just watch this. And I was sort of starting to be able to engage in this video essay for, an hour or so at a time, and feel like I was gaining something from it, because it was like an analysis of media, or it was a discussion about a topic that I was interested in, or in the case of some of the Sarah Z videos that I've watched, an event that I watched unfold in real time. Yes, I'm talking about the DashCon video. And these are things that are fascinating topics to me, which made it easier to be engaged in them for a long period of time. Which is nice in a sense, because that means that maybe it's not too late for me to try and recover some of this attention span problem that I've been having. And maybe something I should try and do is put those locks on my phone so I can't scroll on TikTok endlessly. But all I can say for sure is that the internet wants you to pay attention to it. And as much fun as that can be, and as much, genuine joy that you can get out of engaging with people online or with the internet as a whole, it is something to be aware of, and it's something to be conscious of where you're spending your attention. I don't know, I just think that it's an interesting thing to think about, the way that the internet wants you to pay attention to it. Whether that's the algorithms, the advertisers, or the content creators themselves, they want you to be paying attention. And there's nothing inherently wrong with that, obviously, but to be aware of the fact that what you're paying attention to matters. Whether you're mindlessly scrolling through TikTok for hours on end, or you're watching a video about a topic that you're passionate about, it's something you have to kind of decide for yourself what your priorities are. And for me, I don't really want to be scrolling mindlessly for hours at a time. I want to be engaging with things that I am interested in and actually care about. And that's something that I'm going to have to consciously work at for the next, probably forever, because it is really easy to get sucked into these fast-paced, mindless things. But I want to be paying attention to things that I actually care about and find value in. Or, in terms of what I'm creating, if it's talking about fashion or if it's talking about media. All comes full circle. See, it's all connected. I want to be expending my energy on things that I care about and things that I find joy and value and thoughtfulness in. And that is kind of my point, I guess, is the internet wants your attention. It wants to have you paying attention to it. But you just have to be aware of where you're spending that energy. Just the same way you'd be wary of where you're spending your money. Because your attention is a form of currency in online spaces. that's pretty much all I have to say on that topic. Maybe you agree with me, maybe you don't. Let me know. And if you enjoyed listening to me talk about stuff and you'd like to listen to me talk about more, feel free to subscribe. Like I say, I can't guarantee that I'll be posting super regularly, but I will, be here when I'm here. And I do often have things that I want to talk about, and I don't always have people who will want to listen to me, so that'll be what this is for. And if you want to hear my thoughts on other things and see what other stuff that I am interested in, you can follow me across the internet at Lionofstone. That's Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And you can also visit my website, which is lionofstone.com. Very nice and easy. I'm very easy to find, and you can check me out there. And if you're all interested in books and stories and that kind of thing, and you want something new to check out, like I mentioned before, I have put out another book called Chaos and the Spider Prince. I'll have the links for that down below as well. But that is all from me. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!